journey that has been quite traumatic. We are particularly grateful for your presence here today. Just to provide some context so that we're clear. When this process started, Busola's team reached out to EIA Nigeria to act as fiscal agents for the Not in My Church movement. And that's in the capacity that I sit here this afternoon. Since the video came out on June 28th, there have been many lies, many untruths. For example, a picture of a lady was presented as Busola's sister. There was an allegation that Timi leaked a DM. There was allegations that Busola and Timi were married in Koza by Pastor Biodun, which Timi refuted. So there have been many lies and many untruths. There have also been this new level of police harassment that is the reason why we're here this afternoon, and Timi will speak to that. Now, here in Lagos, we've had the privilege of working with police officers who've been quite professional, and we expect this to continue as we seek justice in this matter. Let us be very clear, we're not against Pastor Biodun Fatuimbo, neither are we against the church. We are looking for a just society because the God we profess to serve is a just God. And there must be consequences for crimes that have been committed. Even in the scriptures, Jesus said that when I was in prison, you did not visit me. He didn't say you didn't release me, which acknowledges that when people commit a crime, that they do pay for it. Over the last few weeks, we've had informal engagements with leaders in the church on this matter. And in a letter dated Wednesday, July 10th, that we received from the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, we were informed that a 3-man committee has been set up to investigate Busola's allegations and other related matters. Not in My Church wrote to the president of the PFN, stating that the committee without women does not reflect the 21st century church, and there was a request that women had to be included on the committee. We understand that the committee was inaugurated on Friday, July 19th, and we're expecting information on the final composition of the committee and the modalities. On Sunday, July 15th, 2 President Association of Nigerian Executives, Reverend Samson Jonah and Reverend Isa Lakonji, were guests at Koza. During that meeting, Reverend Jonah stated, I assure you that we're with you and will continue to be with you. We're in support of the church, we're in support of your pastor. On Monday, July 16th, CAN issued a statement disassociating itself from the 2 executives. As their unauthorized show of support for Pastor Biodun Fatuimbo was public, we are also expecting their sanctions to be made public. Please remember that this is not just about Busola's story. It's for the over 100 reports that were received that we're now dealing with. It is for the 2-year-olds and 4-year-olds that are being raped by father figures with enablers making excuses. It's for the women who are afraid to speak because they are afraid they will lose everything. It is for our unborn girls who deserve to live in this world without fear of what a loved one or a stranger might do to them. Let me end by saying this. Busola came forward and spoke not just for herself, but every woman who has been sexually abused by anyone of authority, first in the church, and next in any position at all. She lent her voice as for voice and hoped that by her sacrifice, other Nigerian women will find the courage to speak up, stand out, find justice, and be healed. She is a mother who has suffered cyberbullying and cruelty of the worst kind. She has lent her voice for the sake of Nigerian women. She has endured harmless rumors being peddled against her. She is bearing this for the sake of Nigerian women. She has now been threatened while her children were a few feet away. So, if you're a woman, a mother, a father, brother, or guardian of children, as good citizens of this great nation, and just as good humans worldwide, we, the Not in My Church movement, beg you not to allow Busola's sacrifice to go to waste. There's only one reason that Busola decided to tell her story, to get justice. I'll hand over now to Tim.
Good afternoon, gentlemen of the press. First of all, I want to say, I'm really sorry that we're starting late, that I came late. There was so much traffic, of which I did not. It was Sunday in my mind, and people would be at home and all that. I'm really, really sorry. So I would go straight to the point. My wife and I have called this press conference because, as a man, I have done what I'm supposed to do. I stood by my wife when she decided to go public with her truth. It was not an easy decision. For a while I was thinking, Timi, this thing is your wife, or this is your wife with kids, and it probably never be the same again. I was thinking of, Timi, your love songs, your career, like what next for you? I gave it a hard thought, but in all honesty, I was raised differently. As a child, I grew up with my grandmother. You tell the truth. Even if the whole world thinks it's a lie, the truth is truth. There's nothing that can change the truth. Just because everybody thinks the truth is a lie doesn't make the truth a lie. So I looked at my wife and I said, baby, she always wanted to tell me, like, sometimes she would say, baby, I have some things to tell you. She would start and I would look at it and say, she would burst into tears and I would say, okay, when you feel like we're not in a hurry, you can tell me what you want to tell me. So she told me in detail what happened to her, and I said, she told me last year, if some of you can remember that last year I actually posted it and said, man, this place we call church is supposed to be a safe place. All my life I've been a church boy. I've trekked miles for choir practice for Tuesday. I've gone to then it wasn't midweek service. We never used to call it midweek service. It was Bible study. It was Bible study, sang in choirs, sang in churches, but I've never been a music director. I've just sang. I grew up with my grandmother, and the virtue she instilled in me is, say your truth. Say your truth how only you can, because nobody might understand it like you do. And as a father, I could have not foreseen these events of yesterday, even as an attempt to act. I was in my house peacefully, I was watching the golf, and all of a sudden somebody was pressing the bell non-stop. And when she entered the compound, I just saw that two people followed her into the compound. There's a bus that just blocked her gate and all that. And it was in panic that the first thing that came to my mind, let me just record this thing and say, because I don't know who they were. They were not on uniforms. They were not people that normally, when the police is coming, they probably come with a police van, not tinted and all that. So I said, let me just put it online so people know that this kind of thing is happening. If they're coming to carry us or something like that. It was out of fear that I put that out. I have this I don't think I grew up in a house where there are men. My grandmother's house was anybody could come, my aunties, my cousins, they were basically women. So I basically know how a woman wants to approach her matter. I know how a woman feels. I respect women a lot. So when she sat me down and told me her truth, I told her, you can tell your truth. Whether the world accepts it or they don't. It's your truth, it's your pain. At least at some point, you're not just doing it for yourself. You're doing it for the girl that goes to church and feels that this is the only safe place for me. I have two daughters. I want to be able to drop them in church without the fear of me coming back and it's no longer the same for them. As we have asked, is the matter to be duly, as we have asked the police that this matter be duly investigated. I did not expect that our residence address, where my children live, will be released to the public. And since then, I have noticed increased alarm, how my life, my wife's life, and the lives of our children have been put to risk by strange faces. People just come and press your bell and, oh no, wrong number. Like it never used to be so. Like my house doesn't have I don't put a number on my house. So you must actually ask that, where's Timi's house, for you to know that that is Timi's house. We have been followed home. Our homes have been watched. People have standing in the corners, pointing fingers. We are unable to do our work. Our children have had to explain. We have had to explain to our children several times why they cannot go outside anymore to play. And that is, I've always loved freedom. I used to go outside. I used to trek from my house to the junction and buy suya, buy bread and all that. I've always loved my freedom. There's nothing. I'm a person that believes that there's nothing as unserious as life. And also there's nothing as, you cannot just take life. Nobody wants to kill anybody. I'm that guy, hey, from the gatesman to the conductor to the mega to the security man, we're guys. I'm just privileged to be a musician in people's faces. There's a big difference. As a father and the protector of my home under God, I have decided to come out and speak publicly against this harassment, bullying and maliciousness we have received as law-abiding citizens of Nigeria. Because of my wife decided to speak her truth and decided to trust her, and I believe her and stand by her. I will never leave her side, and I will do my best to protect her. However, the good people of Nigeria who have shown us so much love deserve to know what is happening. On behalf of my family, I would like to share a few highlights, especially about the attempt yesterday to abduct my wife, or probably me if I was downstairs. Because the people that came to our house, nobody comes to drop letter with guns. Nobody comes to drop letter with the tinted glasses, men with guns, trailing a car. You not just come to drop letter. If my wife has insisted that this, first of all, someone said, when they came into the compound, followed my wife into the compound, someone said, my Oga want to see you in the bus. She said, no, I don't know your Oga, who are you? And they now said they wanted to give us a letter, that the letter was, because I've seen the bus, from where I live, from my upstairs, I can actually see the bus. The bus has been parked on my road for a long time, but it will not cross my mind. It will not cross my mind like, okay, these people are. So for the reason that as she came out from the road and entered the road, tried to enter my gate, the bus followed her and blocked my gate. It's a sign that these people they've been trailing and following her. So it's not that police came to just drop letter and go away. If she had not insisted that, no, I don't know you, I cannot follow you, and we have not said, okay, Oga, what do you want? You don't jump into people's compound and say, Oga, we just came to drop letter with an armed man. It's not possible. Everything is not logic. You cannot explain everything to people. When you're not there in an event, nobody can actually explain a robbery to you. Hey, but you're in your house locked. But how do you break the door? It's not rocket science. You cannot explain it all together. So I'm going to read how. On Thursday, on the 27th of May, this is our petition. We have written a petition. We have written a petition since on the 27th of last month, stating our case. A rape case. It says, on the 27th of June, my wife, through her legal representative, filed a petition in the police station about Mr. Bioni of Commonwealth Assembly for raping a minor. The petition was filed at the office of the Assistant General of Police, Alagbon Ikoyi. We had 4 meetings, over 6 hours on the police station, the day before and the day after. The IAG himself personally assigned the file and immediately asked for an expedition action to investigate the case. We decided not to publicize the fact that we had our case filed, as we believe the law would be followed through undisturbed. We intentionally filed the police case following due pressure of law before agreeing for the release of the interview that had been recorded a few weeks before. The interview was then released by my wife, release with my wife's permission on the 28th of June. 2019 by Y Niger TV. We have since been to the police station on several occasions on invite of the police to respond to various questions on the course of the investigation. We therefore were shocked to be invited to Abuja when no visible action was taken to interview Mr. Fatoyibo. On Thursday, 4th of July, we had another interview with a former COSA employee alleging another rape case by Bioni Fatoyibo. My wife broke down again crying as she listened to the interview. There were other women, she said. She kept saying that as she cried. What surprised me was how Modele Fatoyibo, who asked my wife to come and help her look after her child, a newborn child, which was what led to the second rape, is the same person that asked the lady to come and look after her child again. 15 years after, it's strange. We do not know this lady. We still have not met her. We would like to thank her for lending her voice to this truth. As far as we know, Mr. Fatoyibo has not been questioned on the strength of my wife's petition, even after several invitations by the police. We have honored. However, we have been invited to go to Abuja to respond to query on action that are not crime. known under the Nigerian law. Mischief and falsehood are not crimes. If I say a child is a naughty child, it's not a crime. We're not giving details of the supposed case. There was no address for the police interview, and no response has been given to us on our petition that has been filed for almost a month. On Wednesday 10th, our address was shared online by Kemi Uluyore in the most annoying and careless, reckless and wicked manner. To think she's a woman and a mother and had no regard for the safe keep of our children. She has infringed on our human fundamental rights and privacy and risking the lives of 3 children. This was callous. I decided not to engage with her, but I want Nigerians, the armed forces, the Amnesty International, the good people of Nigeria, and men and women of the forces to know that since then we have been following myself, and people have been following my wife and my car. People even know my car from afar now. To our home at different times. In last week, we were trailed. The last event is what happened yesterday, and this time an attempt was made to abduct my wife, because it's not possible that you send a tactical team to come and drop a letter. It's not possible that you send a tactical team that they normally use to whisk people out of a place to come and drop a letter. It's just like I'm sending how would I put it? It's just like I'm telling 5 people to come and pick my son from school. 5 armed men just come and pick my son from school, like he's been a stubborn boy. Just come and pick him up. When I saw them, I was afraid. The first thing I did was to call my lawyer and say, there are strange people in my. There are strange people. These people I don't. Nobody say, why is this one carrying gun? Why is he following? Why are they blocking my gate? I was afraid for my life. I was afraid. First thing I told my children is to off the television and just go to your room and lock the door. The letters to the policemen said they had heard us speaking to the lawyer before presenting. We noted that the letter was dated Thursday 18th. Why were they delivering on the letter on Saturday, plus a bus full of armed men and a car trailing with my wife, taking my wife into the estate? Why did they not deliver the letter and leave when neither myself nor my wife was present? Why did they have to step into the house and told my wife to come, that there are guys in the car and they want to speak with her? The letter made no reference to any case, no matter. It states that we are being investigated for a case of falsehood and mischief, 2 offenses that are not known like a crime in Nigeria. In the police press release yesterday, they claim a police invitation letter, a polite investigative tool used in eliciting information voluntarily from parties in aiding the police investigation. If they were just delivering a letter, the manner in which they intentionally tried to instill fear, intimidate us with guns, and insist on us coming to their boss was neither polite nor trustworthy. How is the police pursuing the justice with Fatoyibo, who is the accused in my wife's matter, is not being treated in this manner, but the authorities are expected to pursue justice, are attempting to eliminate myself and my wife. Our children are at home. They could have been outside running to meet their mother, seeing people with guns. We have never threatened anybody. There's no way. I'm never threatened anybody. I'm going to do this to you. I've never. I'm not like that. Rather, we have now. Rather, we now have ones who feel threatened. That's why we and our lawyers, Falana Chambers, presenting us that we have reported this matter to the police. We received information from our lawyer, Falana, this morning that both our petition and the petition of Mr. Fatogo will be moved to Lagos. We acknowledge the efforts of the Nigerian police, that our confidence impartiality and professionalism and good sense in this case will not be shaken. Lastly, I'm very grateful. I've seen a lot of bad stuff on the ground. I've seen a lot of things online to discourage me, to make me feel like, Timi, you have taken, I don't know how you're going to recover, but that is not what this is all about. This is not all about us. This is not all about me and Musala. This is about truth. This is not about church. Nobody is fighting church. Nobody can fight church. Nobody. I've grown up in church. When one pastor leaves, another one shows up. God will build his church, and the gates of hell cannot prevail. It has never been. If a person commits a crime, the person should not be shouting from the back of church and shouting, we are standing before church. That is not how church was made. Jesus entered the temple one day and said, this place is a house of prayer, not a den of thieves. They would have called that Jesus was the most people that Jesus criticized were church people. The Pharisees and the Sadducees. It has never been about church. I go to church every Sunday. I listen to the word of God. God will build his church. See, upon the increase of his government, there shall be no end. Let nobody come and tell us that when we are fighting church, you can never fight church. And Christians should know the difference between a sin and a crime. There's a big difference between a sin and a crime. Anybody can decide to tell their truth whenever they want to tell it. It is when you have the strength to tell it that you tell it. It doesn't depend on how somebody else is feeling. For a long time, my wife was trying to tell me every once in a while she would break down and say, I would say, okay, tell me when you want to tell me. I would not love my wife less. Rape is not an adjective. It doesn't define anybody. The person that got robbed, you don't point at the person and say, see, this one the robbed Jumoke or the robbed. No, rape is not an adjective. It doesn't define anybody. We will not be intimidated. We are raised differently. We are after truth. We are not fighting church. We are not fighting the Christendom. It is not about calm. It's not about PFN. It's about truth. It's about our children that will drop in church one day in children's department, and you will come back and pick them at 12. And you want to be sure that it's the same way you left them, that's the same way you pick them. And families should stop this nonsense that they go around saying, think about your family name. That's how we make our children feel unworthy, that they cannot tell us things. You say, your child will come to you and say, this thing happened to me. You tell them, shh, keep quiet. Think about your family name. So your family's name is more important than your children's life. I want to thank everybody. I don't want to just talk too much. I'd rather sing my thoughts. That's how I am. I'm a musician. I've missed music. I'll not lie to you people, but for some reason I'm feeling that there's a purpose in my life to this thing. There's somehow God is deterring me to something else, but I'm not leaving music. There's a detour to my life, and there's a bigger purpose to this. This is not a game. This is not about fame. You know me. My name is Timi Dakolo. My voice will be sweet forever. I will write beautiful music forever. No matter what happens, somebody will play Yaomi on a Saturday. It is not about fame. I don't want your fame. I don't want your money. This thing is not about money. I would sing well. I earn money from royalties that nobody knows about. I write songs for people outside the shores of this country. It is not a game. It's not about fame. It's not about what somebody is saying by the side. It is that the person has committed a crime, and you must face it. Sorry is not a verb. It doesn't fix the broken women in their husband's house that cannot come out and tell their husbands, because people will not look at them the same way. It is our fault that we have created a society where somebody that is hurt cannot come out and say their truth. It's our fault where a 10-year-old child, that something bad had happened. I heard of a story that her mother beat her up because she said, uncle was touching me funny. It's a society where we have found ourselves. Just because you don't like the truth doesn't make the truth a lie. God bless you all.
Thank you very much. We have set up the first shelter for abused women in Nigeria. It's been at this for quite a while. So she'll share a few comments and then the next one, who's a friend. It's a friend of the Dakolos as well, and also an ambassador interested in the project. Timi Dakolo, congratulations. Dakolo, the genie is out of the box. Yes. This is about a culture of silence.
This is about a rape culture in Nigeria. No one is above the law. This is bigger than Fatoyinbo. This is bigger than him. But yes, this is the face now. A lot of things have been going on. We keep quiet. We keep quiet. Last year, some young girls between the ages of 14 and 22 came out on Twitter one full day and we're calling names. Our kids, our children, our girls are crying. Our boys are not left out. Our boys are not left out. But the biggest victims are our daughters. It's not about, we need to stop this stigmatization, we need to stop this shaming, this intimidation and threats. It's not going to work for some of us. You know, my dad would say, if you are afraid of your life, a single leaf will fall from the tree and kill you. A lot of things are happening, and the saddest one is what is going on in the name of God. The church of God, the body of Christ will not be brought down. But the evil people inside will be brought down. We keep receiving this case. Busona just happens to, God just used her. And Timi, you are the man of the year. You are the man of the year because let us point how many men can stand up the way Timi is standing. The intimidation is now facing him. The threat is on him. Because now they feel he's going to talk to his wife to do the right thing. You see, this pressure that women are stupid or foolish or they don't have a mind of their own or whatever people think they have. So that they told the heat on him. The heat is on him. For him to walk, for him to just collapse under it. But by the special grace of God, he's not going to collapse under it. I think it is time. It is time for us to say the truth, to stand for the truth. Not just for ourselves, for our daughters. If you want to play, I tell men, for us, Kate knows, Amy knows. When you're talking about violence against women and girls, if you want men to listen, don't talk about girlfriends and wives. Because those ones are the only show, they play around with. It's really just, some of us, we are lucky to marry people who don't play around with us. But for most men, it's something to laugh about. A 13-year-old girl on Facebook told her story, was reported on the Vanguard. Kate, last week tears came down my eyes. You ought to read what Nigerians were saying about this 13-year-old girl who spoke her truth. Some people were saying, come, let me rape you too. Why do they talk now? Because he's a pastor. What is it about pastor? What is it about priest? I'm a Christian and a Catholic. The Catholic Church has been faced with the issue of rape of children, defilement of children. The Pope has come out to speak. The Catholic Church has apologized. Come on! Why are we holier than the Pope in the Nigerian church? Why are we holier than the Pope? The Catholic Church, the oldest church, they were slammed with charges of abuse of children. It is still going on. They are still investigating. The church has come out to speak out against it. So who are we? Why must we always hide under religion and hide under culture to perpetuate acts of evil? No more. No more. This intimidation must stop. I'd like to stop there for now. Thank you.
Essential. You all know the popular saying that evil persists when good people keep quiet. We cannot keep quiet any longer. Rape is a serious crime. And I'm here not because of celebrity. You see comments, oh, celebrities come together. Josephine is here. I've worked for people that I don't even know. When it comes to rape, when it comes to a woman who is being vilified, who is being abused, I stand up for them. It's not about Busola or Timi. And for sure, I know they don't need fame or popularity because they already have it. My question is, what does she have to gain by coming out now? What does she have to gain? She has everything to lose. She has everything to lose. Her children, her privacy, her person, everything to lose, nothing to gain. But people would rather hide under the pretext of church and I'm a Christian, I'm a born-again Christian, but then I face the truth. We'll be lying to ourselves if we don't speak out. We'll be dying inside, and then it's not about us. We're getting old. I'm getting old. The young ones coming, they're speaking, they're crying. Nobody's listening. It's going to implode one day. We're just thinking, oh, let's go back. The carpet is full. Things are spilling out. The truth is the truth, just like Timi said. It doesn't matter how you try and dress it, cover it, push it further, bring it closer to you. The truth remains the truth. Thank you.
Anyone have a question? Right. The gentleman. Need to. Could you project? Just project from where you are. No, no. Who is directed at?
Okay, Timi, yes.
You said you're being invited by the police.
Yes.
Because they feel that you're spreading false.
Next question.
Next
You want to take over?
Okay, no, I'll take them all together, yeah.
Okay.
What are we talking about? No, let's look at it. What will me and Dakolo be talking about? That will not be discussing me and my wife's sexuality. What will us be discussing in an interview? That is to get to, my wife was a virgin. Then I'll not say, no, I married her a virgin. It's not possible. There's no time. There's no time. I can never, even if my wife was a virgin, me and you cannot discuss that information. We cannot have that kind of conversation in an interview. We can never. Have you ever seen it? Did you see that interview? That's my one question. Did you see that interview?
Have you seen it?
And which media house? Which media house did I do that interview for? Just like the day I saw that I got married in Koza, I was given 5 million, I was given a car, then we now went to honeymoon in Chicago. I was like, hey, it's life. You see the thing, I grew up with an old woman. People used to say to me, you're distant too much. But see how my grandmama put her. If you hunger, they catch your family, yeah? They go farm to go uproot cassava. You know they stop everywhere where you see grass, where bush cover to cut out. Because your family, they wait for you at home. You have a target. You have where you're going to. All these things are distraction. I even saw the one that they say my wife collected money and paid 2 other people to come and talk. So she's saying sorry. I heard the one that she has been crying 48 hours non-stop. My brother, who cries 48 hours? No, we have to be, some of these things that we have to sit back and ask like, what kind of relationship would I have with a pastor that he will give me 5 million, send me to Chicago, buy me a car? Am I your brother? I've never been to Kosa in my life. I've never sat in a room with Fato Yibo in my life. I've never in a space. I've never been in a space together. I've never been to Kosa. In fact, I've never been a music director. I've never been anywhere in the world. Like nobody can say to me was a music director. I used to sing when they say I should sing. I'm the guy that if they say sing this thing, I will put it my own way. That is, if you give me a solo to sing, I will never sing it the way you. So I used to always have problem with music directors before. It has always been me. So my guy, when people tell on us, when people talk something, calm down, reason the thing. Reason the thing. Not everything. Not be first person way first can't talk one thing, now don't talk. And please let me not talk now. I was talking now.
Are you going to honor the invitation?
Okay.
Thank you. And also on this issue, when people say that thing, no one has yet brought one piece of evidence, either a newspaper article, a video clipping, an audio recording of Timi saying this thing. When everybody runs away with it, I put this challenge back to people of the press, please. We are deeply grateful for your support, but when you report and repeat some of these things, just pause a minute.
Yeah.
And as Timi said, does this really make sense? Is this really possible? So they say he said it, okay, a simple Google search. Where did Timi Dakolo virgins? Something should come up. As something should come up. But to the question around when he respond, what as Timi wrote in his statement, 2 of the crimes listed on that letter, falsehood and misuse, are not crimes known to the Nigerian law. Secondly, there was no jurisdiction. So was this supposedly committed in Lagos, Abuja, Ilorin? No. So Father Nakano will be responding on Monday, asking the police for more clarification, and then we'll take it from there. Because the letter as is doesn't say anything. It's nothing we can work with. So we'll honor and we'll receive the letter. So the lawyers will respond to them, acknowledging receipt of it and asking for further clarification, and we'll take it from there. But also, as Timi also noted, both petitions, because the letter did not refer to any petition, but we did get word this morning that both petitions are being combined and will be investigated in Lagos. So there shouldn't be a reason for the Dakolos to have to go to Abuja. And as we round up,
I think it's important that we know how she's feeling. I'm an NGO. I want to know how you're doing. I know your voice is quiet, but your voice is important to us because your voice represents millions. How are you doing?
let's hear about the final question.
My question goes to Steve and NTA. It's just
I'm actually going to answer that on behalf of Timi, and I'm going to answer it with a bit of irritation, quite frankly. Because Timi was very clear. You cannot tell a survivor when to tell their story, when it is good for you, when the scheduling is right, and why not. He made that very clear. And then again is another problem. We start here, this press conference has been 30 minutes, maybe. And he stated it very clearly. He said again, even with them as a couple, she wanted to tell the story several times, but then she stopped. And he kept saying, whenever you are ready. So please, as gentlemen of the press, that should not be a question. Not only do you not ask Busola Dakolo or any other woman, or girl, or boy, or man, who comes forward and says, I was raped 1 hour ago, 10 hours ago, 5 years ago, 30 years ago. It does not matter. My story is my story when I am comfortable and when I am ready. Because let me tell you why. Because when I am not ready to tell that story, and I now get this onslaught of insults, abuse, people targeting, harassment, intimidation, I must have prepared myself to be able to deal with it. So please, I hope there's agreement in the house. Yeah? Excellent. Thank you very much. On a final note, we've also had some stories. Oh, sorry.
I want to say something. It's been a strange journey. It's been a strange journey from a place where lately she's been extremely quiet. I always ask the question, how far?
She's always quiet.
Like how far? I always be the one that look for trouble, like how far and how far. But I know that within that quietness there's a storm. There's a storm. It's like the whole world it's like you have never been on the spotlight. Like the whole world, the spotlight is on you. It's like somehow the truth is drowning you, but you still need to stay afloat.
You need to breathe.
You still need to wake up in the morning and you still need to bathe your children.
Yes.
You still need to keep a good attitude. You still, like our society puts it, like whether you like it or not, as a man, you must provide for your children. You must wake up every morning with, like, you understand my point? You must wake up every morning with the burden and the responsibility that your children have to eat. So how is like it's like what's up? Something has to happen in this house today. Somehow, no matter how she's feeling, me I'll still look at her. Somehow, we will still chop now. You get my point? There's a storm, but it's within. I cannot say I entirely understand how she's feeling. Nobody can totally understand how a person in this condition feels. But she's working with a psychologist that she was even in the house today. Like, how are you feeling? Somebody that she can tell effortlessly, this is how it is. So I don't want to be in that space. I know when to walk out of my room. Like, just allow her be. I know there are different kinds of moods. So why I'm not giving her the mic is that y'all not going to see my wife cry.
No.
See her cry.
No
Thank
way.
you.
Thank you.
Lastly, there's been some report one account that's receiving money on this matter. And the money is for 3 things, let's be very clear. It's for counseling for women who have come forward and want to speak and get support. It's for legal support for those who want to take legal action. And it's also for security. As we've seen yesterday, there are times where we do need to get security to protect women. So those are the 3 things. To date, we have only received 1 donation from a member of the public. So if you think you gave to this cause and you're wondering, please, as I said at the beginning, PIA Nigeria is acting as fiscal agent, so we're receiving funds for these 3 things. And that brings our press conference. So close. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now this is off record. Please, I want to appeal to the men of the press. As you can see, this is a fight of passion. So we're not MTN, we're not Access Bank. We understand how these things work. I just appeal to you to have mercy on us.
He wants to take photos.
Whatever you take, no, whatever you take, before, I'm not going anywhere.